Hello, we're going to do Practice Assessment 1, Task 2.1. So today, which is in the Osborne Books website, and here, osbornebooks.co.uk, go into Products and Resources, that'll bring up this part here, down to AAT Accounting AQ 2016, double click on that. When you double click on that, the various options for resources are there. The level 2 stuff will be here, the level 3 stuff is here, and we're going to go down to the Advanced Diploma Synoptic Workbook. Double click there, that's where the resources are for this. And we're going to do double click on Practice Assessment 1, Task 2.1, data, not the answer, the data one. Okay, so you're going to open up that, and that's going to bring up these 4 worksheets in here. I'm recording this in game mode, which doesn't allow you to switch between applications, so that's why I've got these extra ones here, so I screen printed it in. So what we're going to do then is it says go to the output analysis sheet and reformat all text in the sheet to be Calibri. So to highlight that entire sheet, what you do is between the A and the 1, there's this little triangle here. Just double click or single click on that, and you'll see how everything's highlighted. And then you can go up to here and format it, and everything is in Calibri there. So that's how it is. So there's the formatting option. There's all your options there. There would be all of your the font size, and so you just highlight, come back there, highlight that, and that by hitting that little left click on that little triangle there, brings up everything, format there. Okay, now it says use copy and paste values to insert figures from worksheet budget column C, so worksheet budget column C, into their correct positions in the current budget column G. Of the output analysis sheet, so into column G here. So why did it say use paste values? Well, if you do paste values, it won't bring across any kind of any equations, and it won't bring across any formatting. So if you can see here, the format of these cells here is Arial. So if you brought that across, I'll just copy that across now to here. Let's just paste that across. So I'm going to use Control V there as a shortcut. You'll see how it's coming as Arial and looks different. So that was the point of the paste values here. So if we go here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy across this here in the whole lot of it. So I've highlighted it all there. I've shortcutted, I've Control C'd, and I'm just going to paste this here. Paste special. Right, so to do a paste special, you highlight a cell, right click in it, and up will come the options. Paste special is here, and then you've got some options there, and we'll pick paste values. That's the way in which I do it. There's a shortcut as well, but that's the easiest way to do it. And let's just check revenues, materials, direct labour, unskilled. Yep, so that's lining up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control X to cut that, but you could just copy it anyway there, and Control V, and that moves that into there. And let's just delete out that. So first of all, then I've got my figures into here, and I've got my right, okay, so that's where we are. So that's the first part of the question. Then it says insert a row underneath row 3. So here's our row numbers here, 1, 2, 3. So we need a row underneath here. So we're going to go into there, and you see how when my mouse is on it, the color changes. Now if you right click once when the color's down a different shade, it brings up the options for the rows. So I can insert rows, delete rows, I can hide them, or I can reformat them. So I'm going to insert a row, and you'll see the row comes in there. So that's how you do that. Enter percentage of current budget in cell A4. So here's the column, here's the number, right? So A4 and percentage of current budget. Okay, so that's that bit. Now it says in F4, G4, H4 and I4, calculate the percentage of each output versus the current budget. So here's the outputs in the various scenarios. Here's the budget one. So we want to be having then, so that would be equals that divided by the 7,000. So in scenario 1, this is the percentage of the 6,000 over 7,000. Now, as a quick shortcut here, I can slide this to the right. And when I slide it to the right, okay, you'll see initially it's not really working, because that now is dividing 7,000 by 8,000. So I want the G or the F to move to the right to the G, but I don't want the G2 bit to move to H. So what I do is I put a little $sign here, called accurate referencing. And what this is telling Excel is when you move to the right, change that first one, the F, to a G. Then you move to the right once more, the G to a H, and we move to the right more, the H to an I. But don't change off this current budget one. Stay there. So when we do that, you see there's 1, 7,000 divided by 7,000, and that's the fastest way to do that. It says now format those cells to percentages to 2 decimal places. So to format quickly, just highlight the cells, right click, up comes our options, and we've got format here. So format cells is there. Click on, and here we've got our various things. So click on percentage, and there we go. 2 decimal places, which is what we wanted. Press OK, and that then formats the cells to 2 decimal places. Calculate the budget for each output, for each revenue and cost, or for each output for the revenue and costs using absolute referencing when necessary. So basically, if this is the budget here, if instead of producing 7,000 we produce 6,000, what should that look like here? Now let's have a look here. So these things, what will vary and what will be fixed? So that is going to be fixed. Okay. And so we will want that to be the same for all cells. So as I copy that down, I want the G15 to move to G16, but then when I copy this across here, I want that to stay the same as well. So instead of changing to I16 here, which is what it would have been, or J16 here, I wanted it to stay on this G16, so I put the little $sign in front of there. For the rest of it, I'm going to want it to be multiplying this, the percentage, times by that there. But I'm going to want that to stay the same as I drag it down, so I'm going to want a little $sign in front of there. I'm going to save myself some hassle as well. I don't want to do this equation again, so I'm going to put a little $sign in front of there when I move it across as well. So basically, I'm absolute referencing on this row here, on this row, but it is going to move left to right now when I move this across, and then on absolute referencing on this column for the actual amount that I'm comparing. And press enter there. Drag that down. To just do the drag downs, when you highlight a cell, it turns green like that. You can see this little green square in the bottom right hand corner of it. Single left click on that, keep it down, and then just drag down. Okay. Then I'm going to copy that, and Control C, and I'm going to Control V it there, and that will do all of that there. Now you can see in this absolute referencing here, this moved to where I wanted to be this percentage figure here, but it stayed stuck on this figure here. So because I had the little $sign in front of there, it moved rightwards. It moved rightwards with the letter for the first part, but it stayed on that column and moved downwards in the number for the second part. So that's absolute referencing. Just practice that so you get it right. Okay. Calculate the budget for output each using absolute reference, and that is the entire part of question A, which is 12 marks. So it was quite quick, that really. Then format the costs and revenues, so the revenues and the costs, to thousands with a zero, pound sign first, so we're in the currency, a zero, then a comma, then 3 zeros. So basically in thousands with commas between thousands. So to do that again, so we highlight all of our cells. So you left click in the first cell, keep your finger on the left on the mouse, highlight the whole thing, right click in it, pick the format options in here. Here's our options again. Now there's 2 ways of doing this. Currency would be one, so that's doing that there though, but we don't want any decimal places in this one. That's not what was in the question, so we're going to take those out. That would be the first one. The second one would be to format would be in custom, and we could just write it out in here. Or pick a different option that actually, or an option that has it in there, which would be, it would have been that one probably. There, okay. Right. Make sure all column headings in rows 2 to 4 are bold. So here's rows 1, 2, 3, those ones there, and make them bold. So here's the bold thing. So to highlight those rows, I went into put it on column 2 where it went shaded. I put my left finger on the left trigger, I dragged down to row 4, and then I pressed the bold button, That made them bold. Calculate the operating profit for each level of output in row 16 and show profit as positive figures and losses as a negative figure. Okay, so operating profit here in this column would be equal to that minus, now the quickest way to do this would be that minus sum open brackets, the rest of it close brackets. Okay, so that's the equation that would be the quickest way to do it. Okay, and dragging it to the right. There we go. You could have done it the slow way, which would be that, and then minus that, 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 which would have come with the same answer. You see, as I just dragged to the right, same answer. Yeah, but it was just a bit of a quicker way to do that little sum equation. Okay, so we've do those there. Now perform a spell check. Okay, and ensure that all contents can be seen. So, spell check's in review. It's in the review tab. Over here, spelling. So a bit like Word. Now let's open it up. And we've got one here. So let's change that. And let's change that to skilled. And the spell check's complete. Okay, and that's the end of that question. So that was the end of task 2.1. Actually, quite not a lot of marks there for just a bit of formatting really, and a bit of correcting. The thing to get right here really is this absolute referencing. There. Now I'm going to do a little bit extra in this now, because you can see here I don't really like this here. I think the questions sort of missed that out. And there's two ways that it could have gone here. It could have said make it like that, just stretch it out. Okay, that would be the first one. And the way in which I did that was I highlighted the columns by putting left clicking the left in the F column when it shaded, went across there. Moved my little mouse so that it was in between a column and just dragged it to make them there. I'm not going to do it like that though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight these here. I'm going to right click in this and go down to my format cells. And here I've got alignment, and I use wrap to text. And you'll see how it nicely shifts it there. That would have been a nicer way of doing it. Which probably should have been in the question really, given the way in which it was laid out. So, hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.